Good afternoon, good evening, I should say. It's glad to see everybody here tonight. My lights have been moved around in the room, so it looks like I don't have a shoulder right here or something, or it may be the color of my shirt, but I'm getting a lot of junk around me, so just bear with me on that. I want to go in. First off, I want to say thank you for all the emails and the comments uh, of encouragement. And, we had a little incident happen last, I think it was Friday when it happened. And let me just explain a little bit about what happened. Apparently, one of the moderators thought that. They were doing their job, start off with, okay? And one of the moderators took one of the comments from somebody that's normally not here much, but the way he said it about Barry Morphew's Trevor, or his I don't know what kind of cousin or whatever he is, that they construed it to be that they were taking up for him or censoring his comment. And it brought a lot. They just went over to Draper's show and they commented in the comments. They didn't really comment to Draper, but they commented in his comments. Got a bunch of people that don't even watch this program, that are totally somebody else's crew. They don't even come here. They don't, during the regular time. They came over and they started problems on our channel. And I just went in and just stopped. I just canceled all the comments. I just deleted them, or made it where nobody could comment. And, I hated to do that, but you had one or two guys, and I'm going to tell you right off, I banned one of them. He's in my band stuff. He can't make a comment. He can come watch all he wants, but he can't make a comment because he was just stirring the pot. Anytime everybody say anything, he said, better not say that, they'll ban you. Better not talk about this, they'll ban you. And that I was just trying to say, hey, look, you never come over here and watch our channel, but you want to come and start problems when it didn't have anything to do with you. It was just, I call them trolls. But regardless, I'm not worried about it. I had so much encouragement from everybody, and the people that are here tonight and have been here with us since the beginning. I love y'all, and I don't want to. I'm not worried about just a couple of people that come in here and want to start problems. And I love my moderators. I don't want to change a thing. There's people demanding all kinds of stuff, and I just finally told them, hey, you don't come listen to my program when I work regular nights. Why should I listen to you now? So don't worry about it. I'm not. But apparently, it was just some people got the wrong idea just because somebody says something. And it's funny because a guy told me, thank you, God's girl, I appreciate that. Somebody told me, you cannot prevent people from cussing on your live stream. And I said, oh, yes, I can. And they said, no, you can't. It's our right. I said, no, it's not. You're right. I said, if you want to cuss on a channel, go start your own channel. Cuss all you want to. It's your channel, But I don't have to put up with it. There's a place in my community page where unfortunately, I have to name every bad word, everything, and it pretty much bans that word from being said. Now, it might not ban it from being said live stream, but it bans it from the comments. It'll put their comments somewhere else or not even say it. And, I'm going to tell you, I was in law enforcement 33 years. I heard everything. I've heard it. I've heard everything. Cops talk the way cops talk, and not all of them cuss and talk vulgar, but it's just a part of being around. Guys and girls in law enforcement tend to be a little rough because you tend to see a lot of poop, is a nice way to say it. And, you say stuff, and I'm not saying, I'm just going to say I don't want it all over my channel, and I just said it. I do want to talk about a few people tonight. We are not going to touch on Suzanne Morphew other than to say I'm glad to see Lauren Sharp is reporting on it again. She did a little thing about 2 days ago, which is a good thing. And I'm glad to see her back in the saddle, you might say. And I think she is a great reporter, and I'm glad to see her not let people threaten them and that scare her off. I'm going to tell y'all about an incident that happened with me and my wife over the weekend, and it was pretty scary to her. It got me upset, and we had to call the sheriff, and I ended up reporting it to federal authorities over the incident. It has nothing to do with the channel, but it just show you how people are nowadays. And I don't know if it's the state of the world now or not, but I'll tell you about that a little bit later. We'll talk about a couple of people tonight. One is actually, after I read the whole thing about her missing, I understood pretty much, what was going on with her, and could probably make a prediction about her situation and why she disappeared. My wife currently is not in the room here. She's at Wally World with my son and one of our other kind of adopted sons, and she's out with them right now, but she should be back in a little bit. Our first one we want to talk about tonight is a case out of Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a Jenna Ruth Van, and I'm going to spell it. It's a Gelderen. It's Gelderen, and this is it's a weird case. The girl had they say she was on the spectrum, and if you know what that means, she was a little autistic. She was my high functioning autistic, but she was easily influenced. She was really easily influenced. She had gotten in trouble at one of her jobs for taking money, and it had been proven that she was taking money because some guys befriended her and asked her to take it. And she was real gullible, you might say. Well, she was house sitting for her parents, which were in Canada, and she was house sitting because they had an elderly cat. She was helped take care of the cat. But just a little background story of that. She had been kind of deceiving her parents a little bit about what she was up to, hiding some of the stuff. She had 2 cell phones. She had one cell phone, but her father kept up with all that, especially after she got busy with her taking that money and everything. Her father started checking her cell phone, so she ended up getting another cell phone. So she was deceiving her parents in that aspect. Well, she had texted a friend at 2 a.m. and said that she is fixing to lay down. So she was on the phone with her, but nobody has seen her or heard from her since that time. Her brother came over after not hearing from her and noticed that the house was in disarray. The cat had not been fed. There was damage to there had been a tapestry picture from World War II that her grandfather had given her that was also taken off the wall. All her makeup, they said she was kind of funny. She used to keep all of her makeup and everything like that in a plastic bag and put it on the carried around with her in a plastic bag instead of a makeup carrier. But it was discovered in the bathroom, and they said that was very odd because if she would have left, her 2 phones were gone, but her charging and equipment, everything like that, her shoes she wore regularly, they were there at the house. So it was very concerning to everybody that Here's my lovely
I
wife
see
coming
that you
in.
did not turn my computer on.
I did. I turned it on. It just went off there.
Oh, did it go off? Hey, y'all.
Yes, and
Back up.
she is with us.
Back up. Come on, Maggie.
Maggie, everybody's here.
Okay.
Going nuts.
Yes.
But she disappeared and has not been seen since. Now,
Come out.
what
happened to retired Sergeant's mom?
I don't know. What I meant to ask you.
Oh, she's doing well. Okay.
She's doing well. Great. Absolute great news. Great news.
I read the one that said sorry about something, and I thought, oh no.
That's great, Sergeant. I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear she's doing better.
Somebody says, how long has she been missing?
She was missing. Okay, hold on a minute. Eight 19/2017, and also her car at the time was missing. It was a 2010 Mazda 6 with Georgia plates, and disappeared with her. And they actually caught the wait a minute. Her phone pinged also at one time. The phone that one of her phones pinged in Fairburn, Georgia, around 7:45 a.m. And at the same time, her car was caught on a traffic cam in Midtown area of Atlanta. They found her car parked on Delphore Street near Delphore Place in Northwest Atlanta, 7 miles from her parents' house. But now, if you know anything about Fairburn area of Georgia, we just happen to know about that because my wife's aunt used to live over there, near there in Jonesboro. But Fairburn has got a lot of wooded area in that area, and it's also not a really upscale area either. What's that noise? Noise is crazy loud.
It's Dakota putting groceries away.
You want to try to shut that door there?
Okay.
She originally had attended Georgia Gannett College, but dropped out after 3 years, transferred to a technical college, earned a certificate of office administration. But see, this, she apparently is real gullible, so there's no telling what happened or what led her out of the house. But they said she would have never gone out of the house without her makeup and all that stuff like that, or without her phone chargers and without her shoes that she normally wore every day, unless she thought she was coming right back. So, but they can't. I heard, and I watched another film on this. They said basically that they could not get the data off of that second phone. It must have been kind of a burner phone, you might say. I'm trying to see if there was any. I had a couple of films on the other stuff, and I wanted to show you a picture of this girl too. This is the poster for her, and they're still showing the car because they want to make sure if anybody saw anybody in the car. She was 25 years old. She's a cute girl, and she's $10,000 reward. I thought that would cause them to generate something, but it didn't. This is the tapestry that's missing from her wall that was taken. They said it was not worth that much. Some World War II era, they said it wouldn't have been worth anything unless, them stealing something for it. It'd be easy to somebody to find if it came up in a pawn shop or anything. This is a bigger picture of her. Okay,
on my end you're frozen.
I'm frozen on your end?
No.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
But But anyway, I mean, she's been gone now 3 years. Nothing from her, all of the information that they had. They've done all kinds of searches, and they said they have not named a suspect, but they have searched a couple of apartments, and her boyfriend told investigators that he stopped by the house on the evening of August the 18th, the day before her disappearance, and that he had broken up with her at the time. So, I don't know. I don't know if, he had any foul play to do with it at all. But it sounds like she's a very, very gullible girl, though. Anybody have any questions?
No, I was just looking to make sure you weren't disappearing on me over there.
Okay, I was leaning over. Was it?
No, you were your shoulders disappearing.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told them. I think it's a black.
Are you a ghost?
I think it's a black shirt. Another one I'm going to discuss a few of these tonight. This one there's not much information on this one here. This girl basically lived alone. She was going through a bad breakup with her ex-boyfriend, so automatically he would be a suspect in my eyes. But the way I understand it, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they found her car yet either. I mean, I was talking about a little over a year ago.
Retired sergeant wants to know, did they use air support, dogs, drones used?
On the first one, yes, they did. They searched, it was a 400. That first one that they had in Fairborn, they said that was 400-acre area where the phone pinged. And the Fairborn police had actually said that they had found other bodies out there in the past. So it was almost like a little dumping ground, but they tried everything. They did not find her body. This one has been missing since October the 1st, 2019. She was missing from, I think, Illinois. Erica Thompson. It was hard to find any information about this case. I did find one news report that I'll play for you involving her son. Might get you some ideas about it.
Today, a community of volunteers teamed up with the family and friends of Erica Thompson in hopes she'll be found safe more than 2 months after she went missing.
We missed Thanksgiving this year because she usually threw it at her house. And it was bad.
A small group of the hopeful gathered Saturday morning at Veterans Memorial Circle on Maple and Washington Streets in the southwest suburb. Family and friends concentrated their effort in this area. Reason being, this is the last place that Erica Thompson was seen before she disappeared. The 53-year-old was last seen in the area September 25th. Thompson's son Michael Russo reported her missing after she failed to check in with family or show up for her job as a comptroller for a local chrome plating company. He says he went to her house and
found the back door open, the AC was running, and the house is very dirty, as if somebody hasn't been there in days, and it just felt really wrong.
They're going door to door distributing flyers, hoping to uncover a new lead. Cook County Crime Stoppers is offering $1,000 for any tip that helps police solve this mystery.
We need your help. We need your help to tell us anything you know about what could have or did happen to Erica.
Relatives remain concerned because they say she lived alone and was afraid of a boyfriend she was trying to break up with.
We are investigating this in every angle possible.
And while Thompson's vehicle, a dark purple 2014 Nissan Juke with Illinois plates, hasn't been located either, investigators say Erica's cell phone pinged in several locations the day after she disappeared, giving her family some hope.
We just miss her very much and we need her home.
Reporting from suburban Brookfield, Evelyn Holmes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
And it's hard to conceal a car for over a year unless they took it to like a wrecking yard and crushed it. And usually they report the VIN numbers. It's a part of their reporting process. they have to report the VIN numbers and tag numbers on all cars they run through their crusher. So it's kind of I don't know. I guess they could drive it off in one of these, like we talked about, a quarry full of water or some way. It's just hard to believe that a car has not turned up on a traffic stop or a toll road or a traffic cam, something where they have these tag readers, and even small departments have these tag readers now. So it's just a very, my first thing was the boyfriend. I mean, she's having problems breaking it off with the boyfriend, and then she turns up missing. I mean, that would pretty much be a big clue to me. But so far, nothing. It just mainly want to get the word out that, hey, it is an open case now, and everybody needs to look out for that vehicle. The next one I wanted to touch on here was this girl here, and she is a mother, and she turned up missing. And her name is Nancy Karen, and she spells it Kareen, Moyer. And she's been missing since 2009 from Tenio, Washington, if I pronounced that right. She's at the time, I guess, she's date of birth she disappeared. She's 36 years old. She's 47 now. Date of birth is 11/22/72. This is a kind of a weird case. She was a financial analyst at the state department in Washington of ecology in Lacey, Washington. The weird thing is she has two daughters, and they were visiting their estranged husband at the time. Now, if the daughters are with the estranged husband, you're probably not going to be involved unless he has somebody else do something. Let me see it. When he took them back to the mother's house on March the 8th, she wasn't there. The front door was ajar. The television and living room lights were on. There was a partially consumed glass of wine on the coffee table. A bedside lamp in the bedroom was on. Her identification, purse, car keys, wallet, cigarettes, clothing, toiletries were all in the house. And her car, a white Honda Civic DeSoul, was parked in front. She's reported missing at 5 p.m. on March the 8th. The extensive search was done at the home and turned up no indications of a break-in or struggle. She does not have her own cellular phone, and her credit cards and bank accounts have not been used since her disappearance. And there is a weird situation with this. In 2019, they had a guy confess that he said he killed her during sex, and said he buried the body on his land. But the FBI and the authorities went out there and they dug up almost the entire yard, front and back of his house, and used dogs and all kinds of underground ground penetrating radar, and didn't find anything. And the next day after he made this thing, he denied even making the statement.
Debbie Snyder says Adventures with a Purpose found Ethan Kazmarek, whatever the guy that I told you we needed to do one on. They found his car and body underwater this morning.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, it's great they found him.
They found closure.
Wow.
Those guys really do a great job. They really, really do.
I know
really
his mother
did
not want to die without knowing where her son was.
play a couple of things here about this, see if this is the same one I'm thinking about.
This woman, Nancy Moyer, disappeared more than 10 years ago under mysterious circumstances. Tonight, there could be a major break in the case. We begin with this breaking news on King 5 News at 6:30.
Let's get right to Greg Copeland at the breaking news desk. Greg, what do we know right now?
Yeah, it was, Mark, it was March of 2009 that Moyer disappeared from her Tenino area home. Then that case went cold, and police have had no luck solving it. Tonight, though, things have changed a bit. We have some new information. Word of a search outside of Tenino again. This is about 15 miles south of Olympia. The exact address, 16,500 Sheldon Lane Southwest. Sky King is overhead tonight. Let's give you an idea of what they have been looking at. The Thurston County Sheriff's Office is leading this investigation. The case had gotten some national attention recently through the Real Crime podcast and the Real Crime TV series on the 10th anniversary, which was back in March. But they got a new tip yesterday that led to this search. And what you're looking at here in this search is you see a lot of holes and a lot of blue tarps. Again, this is a small piece of property just outside of Tenino, and police have been digging. This is about 6 acres just outside of the city in the small community. Everybody kind of knows one another, but there are about half a dozen, maybe 8 or 9 major crimes detectives and others helping in this, and they've dug several holes. It looks like they have been using a metal detector to kind of comb through different spoils, if you will, but it's several different areas, and they are going through each one. No word yet on whether they have found anything. They're kind of keeping tight-lipped about this. Now, what we can tell you about Moyer is she was a 36-year-old mother of 2 who worked at the Department of Ecology as an accountant for more than 10 years. She disappeared one night. The police, they found her TV on, a glass of wine on the table. Her car was in the driveway. We know that she was separated from her husband. They gave him a polygraph back right around that same time. He passed it with flying colors. He was never considered a suspect. So the question is, who is a suspect at this time? We have not gotten any definitive word whether anybody has been taken into custody, but clearly somebody maybe tied to this piece of property could be questioned in the hours or days to come, and that is what we are hoping to hear from Thurston County Sheriff's Office hopefully later tonight. We have a crew headed to the scene, and we'll keep you posted on King 5 News on Kong at 9 o'clock. Mark?
Thank you, Sarge. We really appreciate that very, very much. I have one more little short video on this, and where a guy, I actually have, let's see, he talks about confessing about this, and he looks like one of these guys, serial killers you see out there. But, when you confess to one and then you backtrack, if you remember the guy that confessed to the John Benet Ramsey guy, the pedophile over in Philippines, and then they pretty much ruled him out because he was not even in the country when it happened. I can't remember that guy's name.
Detectives said Eric Roberts told them he accidentally strangled Nancy Moyer during sex and then suggested that he buried her remains on his property. Police had interviewed Roberts years before during this decade-long investigation, but until this alleged confession this week, they never had a reason to arrest him.
Like many people tend to forget these sort of crimes, in law enforcement, we don't forget any of these crimes.
The case baffled investigators from the start. Nancy Moyer, a responsible mother of 2, vanished. Detectives quickly called the case a murder, but for a decade, no one was arrested.
Are you Eric Lee Roberts?
But Tuesday, police say Eric Roberts called 911 saying he had accidentally strangled Moyer during sex in 2009, and he suggested he buried her on his property. Searchers have spent the last 2 days looking for clues, and while the sheriff says they found some potential evidence, they have not found Moyer's remains.
When you're dealing with a missing body, those are the cases that make it very challenging for law enforcement, yet alone for prosecution.
The sheriff thinks the new leads may be a result of new attention on the case from cable TV documentaries and a podcast.
This is a story of Nancy Moyer.
Moyer's family credits the Hide and Seek podcast for the break in the case.
What I wanted to do was apply the pressure, and if that's what caused him to come forward, then good. That's what we needed.
The podcast's host would like to think his work has made a difference.
How ambitious and bold is it of me as a amateur podcaster, amateur detective, thinking that he's going to come in and solve some case. So where we're at today, it's still pretty surreal. And
detectives say Roberts confessed on Tuesday to them, but then the next day, yesterday, they say he changed his story, recanted that confession, and said he doesn't know why he said he killed Nancy Moyer. Despite that, he remains here at the Thurston County Jail, held on $1.5 million bail. He hasn't been charged yet because prosecutors want to allow investigators more time to dig up that property, to look for more evidence. That's something that's been going on all day, the last 2 days, about 20 miles south of us at his property in Rochester, and that's.
And I read later on that he was not charged. He didn't end up being charged because what happens a lot of times is they'll confess, and then the minute they get a lawyer, he says, "Hey, you want to die in the death penalty for this case? You better recant," and then they recant. And then once they recant their thing, then the burden is on the prosecution to really be able to prove that maybe the first confession was accurate or not. So he recanted, and they could not find a body. So it's like one of these false confessions. I mean, you can ask anybody that's ever been in law enforcement. I'm sure Sergeant Melinda can tell you the exact same thing, is that if you have someone confess to something and then recant, and you have no other evidence to tie them to the crime, you can't hold them. I mean, you can hold them for a little bit, but unless they give you some details of that crime that no one knew but the guy that would have, that's why they don't tell you everything, all the evidence, what they have. Because if they interview you and you only tell them certain things that the killer would know or the person that did the crime would know, you could pretty much say then you have enough to charge him with something. But apparently he just admitted to killing her, but without a body and without some other type of corroborating evidence, they more likely decide not to charge him at this time. And the reason, too, is they don't want to go to court, charge him with this right now, and then him be found not guilty, and then you can't charge him again. And I had somebody tell me that, oh no, you can charge somebody again, and I said, no, you can't. That's called double jeopardy, and you can't charge him with the same thing. If you might charge him with just doing something to a corpse or assault or something, but you can't charge him with something, murder, if he's found not guilty once. There was another case I wanted to touch on. Anybody got any questions about this particular one?
Yes, there was a question. Let me find it. One person fighting crime 24/7. Why do people confess to things they didn't do? I said they wanted attention.
Well, there's several shows that talk about false confessions. Why people confess to crimes. Why people confess to things that they didn't do. I apologize for the noise in the other room. We got my son's here and the dogs, and they're playing with a dog.
The other thing was
a lot of people will confess to things. I don't know. They've been so many false confessions. So you try to get something else with the confession other than just the confession.
The other was who pays for the man hours. I would think that they could.
No.
They can't back charge them?
No. I mean, what are you going to do? You probably don't have anything. No, that's pretty much part of it. But I guarantee you, he probably would have gone ahead with confession and everything till he'd got a lawyer. The lawyer convinced him not to do it, I'm sure. Yeah, and it's weird though, because they said that he was kind of talked to him early on in the investigation. So it makes me wonder, did they have something that kind of tied him to her disappearance or what? Amy, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, double jeopardy. It's a little thing about double jeopardy. Years ago, when I worked at a larger police department, about 300 something officers, I was in patrol at the time, and they gave me and another guy a domestic call, and we were en route up there. It was a pretty good ways away. We were en route up there. We were running code up to it. And about halfway there, another officer started screaming for help. He was in a fight. He needed some help. So dispatch pulls me and this other guy off, and we go to take that call. And the two officers that went to our call end up getting shot. The guy was waiting for him in the doorway with a shotgun, and when they approached the house, he came out and shot both officers with a shotgun. Well, one of the guys, one of them had vest on, and one of them didn't. The guy with the vest on caught most of it in his face and some in his vest. The other one caught just a hole. It kind of got him both ways. It didn't kill either one of them, but it put both of them in the hospital. But one pellet went out and hit a neighbor's foot that was walking down the road about this time. They charged this guy with assault with attempt to kill 2 police officers and assault on the neighbor that got hit with the pellet. Some way or another, the guy that got hit with the pellet, I apologize. The dog's in here with her ball again. Dana, can you see if you can try to shut that door?
I tried, honey. I can't budge that door. I don't know why, but I can't.
All right, see if you put that gate down where they can't come in the hallway.
Okay.
But the lawyer was pretty slick for the guy that got hit, for the guy that shot, because he pled guilty to the one crime of the guy getting shot in the foot out there. And do you know they judged that as double jeopardy on the other cases, and they were not able to charge the guy that shot the 2 police officers with anything because they claimed double jeopardy. Now, I don't think it is, because it was one incident, but it was 2 different people, but they charged him with double jeopardy, and they wasn't able to charge him. Thank you for the new member. Thank you. Is it Shelby GC? Thank you, Shelby. We appreciate it. Welcome. We started the membership program, and I do appreciate everybody joining and supporting the channel. Thank you very much.
Yes, the noise is Maggie. She does not like
is.
Dakota laying over the stool in there to try to take the pain out of his back.
Yeah, that's her ottoman that she lays over, and if anybody gets on it, she doesn't understand. London, wow, welcome. London, wow, that's amazing. Welcome. Thank you, Sarge. I appreciate that. Really, sincerely do. Yes, the noise is Maggie. She's a little rambunctious today for sure.
Well, it's because Dakota, our son's here, who
Yeah.
spoils her rotten.
Yeah, he does spoil her, but she needs to be spoiled though. The other case I wanted to cover tonight is Tiffany Whitton. It's Whitton. At first, Beach Bomb, welcome, congratulations, and I appreciate you coming a member. Also, thank you very much. Tiffany's story is weird. At first, I thought, well, man, this is crazy. She was at Walmart, and at first, on just appearances, I thought she disappeared from the parking lot at Walmart just by reading a few things. And then I looked into what really happened. Tiffany was addicted to heroin and crystal meth. That's what it said. And that she was in a very difficult relationship with her boyfriend. And her ex-boyfriend, our boyfriend, he had gotten caught for trafficking and methamphetamine. And he's currently in jail right now doing a lengthy sentence. Congratulations, Denise. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you very much. And she got caught trying to shoplift outside of Walmart by security. They had a tussle in the parking lot, and she broke loose and ran away from the scene. So it wasn't like she got taken at Walmart. She left Walmart on her own accord, and she has not been seen since. This is September 13th, 2013. Now, probably Marilyn, is that Marilyn?
Marilyn Russell.
Yeah, thank you very much for becoming a member, Marilyn. We do appreciate it. You know, her being addicted to meth, her being on heroin, and her boyfriend at the time he was in prison or in custody for this cocaine and methamphetamine. Thank you,
Angela.
Angela, thank you. I appreciate it. That pretty sealed him off from being involved in her disappearance, but I'm not 100% sure. Of course, now she's been gone 7 years, so you would think something would come up on her before this end of this 7-year period would be. But if she is doing heroin and crystal meth, there's a possibility that she might have OD'd and died. And but in 2016, journalist Tom Judo, or whatever I think his name is, Jundo, it's Junod, wrote an article in the case Esquire stating, seeing the media silence on Whitton's case and as an exception to what's called the missing white woman syndrome. That he just believes that more white women are reported on than black or Asian or Indian. And you know, I'm not really sure if that's not true, you know. And I think partially this may be true because the families are more out, you know, it's easier, I think, for a white family to get for the news and get things going than because of whatever mistrust of the police or whatever. But they don't seem to be that many. I've never hardly seen one or two black families come by and just be, you know, in the news media.
Well, and my question is on a lot of the Hispanic children that have come up missing or women that come up missing. I wonder if because of being afraid of being deported, the parents won't come forward. Because if they're deported, they won't find their children.
Yeah, how did she get out?
She was crying on the other side.
Let me see what this is. I think this had something to do with it, but it may be something else. Bear with me.
New developments 1 year after her daughter disappeared, a Metro mother is tearfully making a plea for information that would lead her or police to the young woman's whereabouts. Channel 2's Ross Cavett is live outside a Marietta Walmart where police have just announced a reward in the case to help that mother get some answers. Ross.
A $2,500 reward fund. These missing persons posters we've seen have started to fade, but the desire to find Tiffany Whitton has not. The young mother was last year at this Walmart. Then after that, it was like she simply disappeared into thin air.
Maybe she's out there. Maybe she can see this. And she will know that we love her and we want her home.
Long after the leads have dried up, Tiffany Whitton's mother still has hope, is still trying to figure out what happened to the 27-year-old mother who seemingly disappeared after visiting this Marietta Walmart 1 year ago.
I'm just begging. I know that people know. I know somebody out there knows where she is, what happened to her, who might have been involved, whatever the case may be.
Lisa Daniels has not just been sitting waiting for answers. She created social media pages seeking tips, has distributed flyers, and been to Tiffany's haunts searching for leads. Police have not stopped as well. Weeks ago, we watched as detectives and crime scene techs dug behind a Cobb County home where Tiffany's ex-boyfriend lived. They found nothing. In the meantime, Tiffany's former boyfriend, Ashley Cottle, been arrested in a big South Cobb meth bust earlier in the year, but bonded out. We've learned now drug agents in Cherokee County nabbed him in yet another meth operation. He remains in their jail without bond. Marietta Detective Johnny Moyer is convinced somebody knows where Tiffany is.
I've done more work on this case than any other case that I've ever worked on. And to still not have that final piece of information that we need, it's very frustrating.
It makes me angry because I can't imagine if I knew something about somebody's child who was missing, there's nothing, fear or anything else that would stop me from coming forward and telling what I know.
And honestly, in recent weeks, we've also received information here in the Marietta Bureau that there are people out there who have information about Tiffany Whitton's whereabouts, but are simply too scared to come forward with information. Marietta Police now hoping that $2,500 reward will help get that tip about this missing woman they desperately need. We're live in Marietta. Ross Kevin, Channel 2 Action News.
Well, I can tell you why they're scared, because they're in the meth trade. It sounds like that she was doing either heroin or meth, and if her boyfriend was involved that big in a major trafficking organization and then got popped again in another major trafficking organization, then I know the reason why they're not saying anything, because of the drug trade. Maybe she knows something. Maybe something happened to her because of that. She might have been killed because of what she knew, or it sounds like she had a pretty bad habit if she was stealing to support her habit. So if she could be still alive, she could be, but she could be so far on the ground and in that type of lifestyle that, there's people found all the time that are junkies that, and I hate to use the word junkie, but that's exactly what law enforcement will call them if they're in, if they're addicted to heroin and methamphetamine. And meth is just, heroin's bad enough, but meth, it just, they tell me that heroin is a physical sickness. Methamphetamine is a psychological sickness, as well as I think you can actually get physically addicted to it as well. But they said it is very, very, very bad. It kind of eats you out from the inside out. Does anybody else have questions on this?
Lynn wants to know how to become a member. If she's overseas, can she still become a member?
Yes, you go to just like after the stream's over, or even on the stream, it should be a join button down below that.
Oh yeah, I see it.
And you just click that join button and it'll take
it's
you
under the thumbs down.
Yeah.
On mine it is.
Yeah, you just click on the join button and it'll tell you the different levels. As little as $1.99 a month, and it's just a way for you to help support our channel. It's not required. All of our videos will always be free, but it's just for people that want to do that. And if you don't want to do that, that's okay too. We understand that that times are not as easy as they have been in the past, and we don't think less of you if you don't. Anybody else? I did. Somebody sent this in to us. I think it was Beachbone that did, about the guy that president asked for president to help him. Family.
That was the guy that's missing in the.
Yeah, but who sent that to me?
One of our people.
One of y'all.
I can't remember who sent it. I'm sorry.
Sent this to us. There is a professor out of Washington, and then thank you for becoming a member. Was that somebody there?
Yeah, Amy.
Amy, thank you very much for becoming a member. This is him right here. He's Dr. Sam Dubal. I guess that is a Dubal. And the family provided this by his sister. They've had searchers. He is an accomplished hiker. And he went up on one of the trails here, and I don't have this national park, on Mount Rainier National Park. And he filed a not really what they call a flight plan. It's sort of like that. He files this thing with the service. He got a permit to hike up here. It was a 15-mile hike up and back, round trip, I think. And he was going to do it like in one day and stay the night, come back. So, but a storm came in, a snow and rain storm came in, and he had a tent on him, and he has camped in that area. He has actually camped in the Himalayas. So, this guy was an accomplished hiker, but he has turned up missing. And I'm going to play this thing here. Let's see. This is, I think, a thing about it here. Family for missing Seattle professor pleading for authorities, the president, to press the search from National Park where he is hiking and when weather clears. He's 33 years old. Departed for an overnight camp on October the 9th at Mount Renea National Park. When he did not show up at his university on Monday morning, classes and meetings, National Park Service started to search the help of the FBI and the military. So, I'm going to tell you, his family knows somebody, I guarantee you. After 9-day search, his difficult conditions, the effort has been suspended. And the family said, hey, wait a minute, this is too soon, 9 days. But, you got to understand what they're saying, that how long, I guess, the person can feasibly be found. But now we know they have found people longer, been out there. But apparently, let's see here. This is the video I had of it. Let me click out of this one here first. Oops.
Okay, wait a minute. Sergeant wants us to pull her missing picture. Talk about her.
Well, the weather is complicating this search. Last night, search crews used an Air Force helicopter to search the area, but that helicopter unable to fly because of the weather. Meanwhile, all the parties involved say they're keeping hope alive.
We remain optimistic until we have reason to believe otherwise. We've seen people come out just fine in situations far worse than this.
33-year-old Sam Dubal is known as an outdoor enthusiast, an experienced backpacker.
We know that he had a backcountry permit to spend the night at the Carbon River camp, and we know that he was planning to do the Mother Mountain Loop, yes.
According to the Park Service, Dubal started the 15-mile round-trip hike Friday, was expected back Saturday, and by Monday afternoon, he was reported missing. Rangers finding his vehicle at the trailhead. Dubal's two sisters taking to social media, asking anyone who's hiked the area recently to report any information that may help find their missing brother.
The weather came in pretty severely last night. We've had heavy rain over in the Carbon River area of the park all day today.
Changing weather complicating the search. Take a look at this video provided by the Park Service. Ranger Kevin Bacher says this log crossing on the same trail is likely washed out this time of year, making it impassable. This could have forced Dubal off the trail, though they're putting faith in his abilities.
Mr. Dubal was an experienced backpacker. He had backpacked in the area quite a bit before, so he certainly knew what he was doing.
A season that has triggered more missing hiker searches than years past. And as they continue to search, they want to remind hikers to make sure they're prepared and always let someone know when you're expected to return.
That missing professor worked at the University of Washington as an assistant professor of anthropology. The school says they're saddened by the news and doing what they can to assist with the search. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
LaToya.
Now we talked about hiking alone, period, the other day as females hike alone, and how it's just, and I know it's hard sometimes, I guess it would be to get somebody to hike with you if you were single like that, but it would pay you to, or at least get one of these transponders, you can carry on you where if you do get in trouble, you can actually mash it. It's like one of these, like an EPIRB that you carry with you that would alert people of your position and that you're maybe injured or lost or whatever. To me, it'd be worth it. Yes.
Retired Sergeant said, can you pull a picture of LaToya Renee Grissom and talk about her, please?
I personally cannot, for where I'm at in this software that I'm using, without getting out of it.
And I don't have my.
Let me see. Let me try it. I've never done it on here right here.
If he disappears, y'all will know what happened.
If I disappear, you'll know what happened. What's her name again?
LaToya Grissom. LaToya, hold on. I had it up here. I have to run back up to where.
Yeah, I see you now. Here, let me see if I can get it here.
Her last name's Grissom. LaToya.
Yeah, I got it. I got to try to get. I don't know if you can see anything. If you can see anything that I'm doing or not.
I can't.
Okay. What does it show that I'm doing?
It just shows you're sitting there disappearing.
Okay.
Welcome, Lynn. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Let me see if I can pull it up. I put 2 screenshots there and see if I can download them. And I got them from the Charlie Project. I want y'all to check out the Charlie Project. That is, the way I understand it is, it's ran by someone that, if I read it right, has got autism, and that is kind of like their thing. It's keeping up with missing people.
Okay, they want Beauty for Ashes says, Thomas, do you have any updates on Leah Cavett or Renea Terrell?
I have not on Leah Cavett. I try to check that about every other day. I have not checked it over the weekend. We were not in a position to even have internet where we were. I'm hoping in the next few weeks I will have internet there, and I'll be able to check things more often, but we did not have any internet this weekend per se. I mean, I had some, but not much.
LaToya R. Grissom.
Yeah, I got it. Just
okay, sorry.
A second. Okay, this is LaToya Grissom, missing since 2007 from Texarkana, Texas. I guess that's Texarkana, Texas. Wow, I didn't know thought it was Texarkana, Arkansas. Endangered, missing female. She's black, born on 2/6/82. She was 38 years old. 25 years old, I guess, when she's missing. 5'4" to 5'6", 120 pounds, 120 to 130. It tells her clothing and her characteristics, and those are pictures. Beautiful girl, very, very beautiful girl. Let me see if I can, the next page will tell the details of the disappearance. Grissom was near Sunset Apartments in Texarkana on September the 4th, 2007. She lived at the apartment complex on Allen Lane with her grandmother and twin children. Wow. She left home that day without explanation, saying that she would be back soon, and last seen getting into a small dark-colored car at 3:30 p.m. She has never been heard from again. You know, that's not unusual to say, hey, I'll be back. I don't know how many times I told my mother, hey, Mom, I'll see you a little bit later. I'm just going with some friends, and that she didn't have any idea where I was. Grissom's grandmother is watching her children at that time, and her disappearance, October of 2010, her purse and some other belongings were found along a creek in Texarkana. Foul play is suspected in her case, and the family believes she is no longer alive. That's a very sad situation. These kids would grow up without knowing their mother or knowing where their mother is. And that's one thing about the father today, talking about the girl that had the on the spectrum. He said the worst situation is the not knowing. Not knowing if there's if something happened to them, not knowing what happened at all to them. Arla, Texas, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma borders. Oh, wow. Okay. Texarkana. Is that correct? That is. That is.
Can't get it.
That's horrible, though, that they did not know what happened to her. But, like I said, there was been plenty of times that I told even like when I was 16, 17, before I went off to college, tell my mom or my dad, especially my mom. My dad is working all the time or doing something. I tell him, I say, hey, I'll be back later. I'm not even say where I'm going, not saying anything, but just disappear for, be gone all day and maybe wait up in the night. Thank you, Barbara. I appreciate it. Welcome to the membership program. My mom did not drive. She didn't drive. She walked around and she went places with my aunt and stuff, but she didn't know how to drive. And I kind of think my mom had she never did tell me, and she never did indicate to me. My father didn't either. But I kind of think maybe she had some anxiety issues, and the reason why she never drove. But she did not drive. What?
Nothing. I just.
What is it? Not performing, doing what?
No, I lost everything from everybody. I don't know where I don't know where everybody went.
We'll go back to the YouTube.
I'm back now.
Okay.
Marilyn asked, "What is Roll Tide?" Maryland, in the state of Alabama, when you were born, you have to decide if you're going to yell Roll Tide or War Eagle. Roll Tide being the University of Alabama, War Eagle being the University of Auburn. There is no in between. You're either an Auburn fan or an Alabama fan, and you never switch.
Yeah, there's a lot of other schools here. There's A&M University, there's Calhoun College, there's UAB, there's University of South Alabama. There's a whole lot of other colleges, but the main colleges are Auburn and Alabama, and you have got to support one of those or the other. You're born into it. But and we just happen to be Roll Tide fans or Alabama fans. And Roll Tide is the slogan that they use. Alabama uses.
The soldier that's missing. Okay, is it a male or a female? Does anyone know? I can't remember. Because I just.
Well, thank you.
I just pulled up a Fort Bragg soldier who's been missing since Saturday, but this is from 2012. A female, 23 years old. I worry about these people coming up missing. Fort Bragg missing soldier 2020.
Yeah, back when we were when I was growing up, there wasn't nothing for us to stay out. We would walk down the end of the road. All the kids would play hide and go seek and do all this kind of stuff. I remember my mother would walk down the street and holler at me to come home. Just about dark or so. Or when the street lights came on, I was supposed to be at the house. But nowadays it's a different world.
There's a Kelly Bordeaux, Bordeaux, 23, a soldier at Fort Bragg, was last seen early Saturday morning. Fort Bragg officers reported her missing on Monday.
What army? What base is that? Can anybody? Rhonda, welcome.
North Carolina.
The base that they've had so many soldiers missing
Fort
from?
Hood, Texas.
Fort Hood, or
and
was it?
But looks like Fort Bragg's got it too.
Pig Suey, like, is that Arkansas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, my daughter went up to Arkansas on a TDY from her work. She went to one of the basketball games, and she had a picture of the pig on her head, the Arkansas pig on her head. She said it was something else. The basketball game was. They had some unusual fans up there. One guy didn't have a shirt on. He's big, and he's rolling. He had this T-shirt going around his head. She took a video of it, but I don't remember. But we got ours too. We got just as many crazy. Fans are crazy everywhere. When I saw at the Alabama game the other day, a guy, and this was cold outside, he had no shirt on. He had a big giant A painted on his chest, and he had like a grass skirt. I think he's probably that Fiji, the fraternity Fiji. My roommate in college was a part of, but the fraternity Fiji. Where's I got some dogs?
It's Gracie crying. There's a soldier, Roman Martinez, but his body has been found dead. I mean, he's been found dead. They found his body dismembered.
Gracie, come here.
And y'all remember the girl that was dismembered from Fort Hood?
Gracie.
Man.
Well, my dog doesn't want me. She wants my wife.
Yes, everybody can hear you too. They're all thinking we're bad for not picking you up. Come here. Come here.
Yeah, I don't know what her problem is today. She don't want to come over here to me. She wants to stay with Dina's lap.
Oh, she's too heavy. Good Lord.
She's
here.
Fat.
Hold her in your lap.
She's fat. Hey, can you
12
behave?
soldiers are missing at Fort Hood in a year. Okay, that is a problem.
Going on.
That's right. Something is going on.
Something going on at Fort Hood. I will look that up tomorrow and try to find exactly if it's Fort Hood and what's going on down there. And, if it's...
I think there's something going on at a bunch of them. Fort Bragg's got a bunch of missing.
You want to talk? You want to talk on there?
Who?
The dog. You want to talk?
Gracie. Gracie.
Well, she's looking for you now. She's a mess. She's a mess. She likes to lick me.
She looks like Yoda.
She looks like Yoda. My big dog is in there laying in the living room. She's got her head just looking and looking and looking. But yes, I will check that out tomorrow and have something.
Let's do some research on these the soldiers.
The soldier thing for
soldiers
sure.
Are missing because that hits home. I've got family.
Yeah, my wife's family is all prior military or military.
From the Civil War through 2010, I had an immediate family member in the military.
Her brother is retired lieutenant colonel, and he still works for, we don't know where he works, something, he can't tell us where he works. And her other brother is retired, disabled from, he got injured in Iraq, and a couple of other brothers have been in there. Dad is a retired sergeant major. Yes, you can imagine me dating a sergeant major's daughter. You get the picture. Yeah, human trafficking is terrible in that city gang organizations. What city we talking about there, Sarge?
I imagine it's either Fort Hood or they immediately changed Grissom's commander and leadership at that post. That was Hood.
Yeah, and I saw something today, and I tried to find a video on it, but I couldn't. But they made another child pornography bust where they seized they rescued a bunch of kids and put the ringleaders in jail. I have nothing but praise for the federal authorities. I get aggravated because
yes,
there's so many people in the news that are, they think they're putting in their bad stuff supposedly about the federal authorities, but I have so many good friends that are FBI and U.S. Marshals, U.S. Customs, Secret Service, and DEA, and I know these guys and girls that work in that are just they're the best of the best, and I've got so many friends in those different branches. In fact, I was assigned to a U.S. Customs Blue Lightning Task Force for about 3 years. Loved every minute of it. In custody and are committing suicide. Wow.
MH was talking about that case. I don't know if you were listening when I read out that a father killed his 12 and 16-year-old son and kidnapped his 12 and 16-year-old son, killed him, and then kidnapped his 2 daughters.
Yeah, they caught him, though.
Yeah.
I read about that today. In fact, I was going to cover that where, that was the thing. They were trying to find the daughters in case he was going to do something to them, but they did find him and captured him. Yeah. Will run and suicide. Yeah, I don't. There's only been a few people. Did y'all see that today on the news where the guy was got like I want a couple of 100 years for running that sex cult Nexus or whatever he does.
He was the one that was
he got 104 years, I think it was.
He was having that actress help him find girls, and then he tattooed them, marked them.
Yeah, put a brand on them.
Branded them.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they got him. He got convicted and he's doing I think 104 years. I hope it's the federal time and not state time, because state, they get halfway overcrowding in a facility, they'll start to let people out, where the feds don't. And fed time is day for day. State is not. What is that? Yes. Oh, yes. Nexus. Yeah. Young girls. Great news. That is really good news. 3 hours up the road.
Okay, so
wow.
Tomorrow night we're going to talk about soldiers.
We're going to cover those missing soldiers, and I'm going to concentrate on Fort Hood and also on Fort Bragg. And we'll see if we can't, see what's going on.
Okay. Retired Sergeant said email her and she can update you on everything on Hood.
Okay. Do I have your email there, Sarge, or do you want to email me and I'll return it? My email's out front there.
Have some of you seen the American flag with the blue flag over it, with the hand pulling the blue flag back, showing the American flag for Blue Lives Matter? If you haven't, I'll try to take a picture and get Tommy to post it on here. It is a beautiful flag. I've got one flying outside my house.
If Sarge, if I do not have your email, I don't know that I do. Could you email me at the missing livestream at gmail.com, and I will forward you back or wherever. I'll try to find it if I do or not.
And y'all be praying. We had a young couple show up at our store on Saturday. They stayed over 3 hours. They were looking to open a store, and with ours already being 3.5 years old, they thought, why open a store when this one's already established?
We'd love to sell it.
Yes, we would love to sell it. So be praying that it is a fit for them from God, and it's where God wants us to be.
You're right. Sick, evil souls. There is no, or I'm wondering if they have a soul. You know, that's my thing. I know that is not a Christian thing to say, but some of these people, what they do to kids and all that is just, you know, it's hard to see how people can do certain things to kids. It's even to other human beings, to be honest with you. I've seen some, as anybody in law enforcement has seen some pretty tough things to see. Where do you get?
Here, I don't know if they can see this or not. Hold it up there. See if they can see that.
Can y'all see that, or is that too dark?
I'll tell you, hold it up there. Up a little bit, or bring it forward to a little bit closer. Up. Yeah, can y'all see that? That is a beautiful flag. It's the American flag. And okay, whoops, there you go. And the hand's pulling it back and showing the Blue Lives Matter.
I don't know what it's doing there.
Okay. But anyway, y'all, that is a beautiful flag.
Sarge, if you can send me an email there. I don't see your email in my stuff. If not, if I can't contact you, if you can send me that and tell me a little bit about that, that'd be super. She'll try to find where she got the flag.
Yes. I will try to find where I ordered it from and let y'all know. It's a very nice flag, two-sided. It's thicker than the American flag by itself. They're really nice.
And we will look into it, and I'll try to follow that that case you suggested, Sarge.
Maggie. Oh, were you gonna tell them about what happened?
Oh, let me tell you what happened. We have an RV, and we use it occasionally, and we were moving it from her father's house where we had been staying the weekends to help them all out up there. And we pulled into a rest area to dump our tanks. In Alabama, they have a dump station there. And dump our tanks means dump the sewer out of our tanks. And we were parked behind this older gentleman. He was emptying his RV, and I was parked there. And I pulled up far enough. Other trucks had been coming by me in the back of me. No problems in getting by me. And so this one truck pulls up there halfway down beside me, sort of. The guy starts honking his horn. He starts yelling and cussing. He gets out of his truck and approaches my RV. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. He's cussing me, calling me everything, naming the book. He's a black guy, calling me the N-word. And, just...
He cussed enough to make a sailor blush.
He looked like he was high on meth. That's what he reminded me of, somebody high on meth. He's screaming top of his lungs to move. And the one time I was not armed in the RV. It's a one time that I'm not, but I didn't have it. But I went because he was getting crazed. I thought this scared him off. I just turned to Dina there and I said, "Hand me my gun." Well, he heard that. He did back up just a little bit, but he said, "I got a gun too, and I'm going to get it out, and I'll pop a cap in your..." So she's saying, calm down, calm down. Well, he's not having it. He's out there. So he gets in his truck and cusses the other guy out as he moves forward, and then he parks down from 100 yards from us. So she calls the police. She calls the sheriff.
But the security guard from the Welcome Center came around and asked us if we were okay, that people were coming in and telling him that they were afraid that there was a crazy guy out there that was, they were afraid was going to pull them people out of their RV and
He
beat
couldn't
them.
have pulled us out of the RV. That we you know, not even, I mean, we were locked in there, but I'll never not be with some type of, well, I won't ever be not armed again. And the police came, but he left in his truck prior to them getting there. And of course, they put out be on the lookout for him. I really believe he was on something because he was just wild-eyed and crazed. He was crazed. But I went ahead and reported him to the federal DOT carrier. It's a federal commercial carriers association. And gave him the tag number and gave him the pictures of the truck and everything. But this just goes, I don't know why people are crazy nowadays. They're acting crazy.
It was in Alabama, North Alabama.
It was a mile south of the Tennessee border in North Alabama. And I mean, this guy, he was acting absolutely berserk. I mean, he was wild-eyed. He was talking crazy. I really believe he was whacked out on meth.
I don't think it helped that I asked him to watch his language.
No, you didn't. But, you know, it just goes to show you need to have some type of protection with you. I wish I had, because if not, if he would have pulled out a gun, I don't know. I just thinking the whole time what I was going to do. I couldn't move. I can't back up because I got a Jeep attached to the back of our RV, so you can't back up with anything on the back. It's not like having a trailer. It will not back up. I couldn't pull forward because this other guy was like 2 feet from his car. And when he was screaming, move, move, I couldn't move, you know. But people are just crazy nowadays. They are. They're just crazy. But
Frances said she retired from the RV industry in Elkhart County, Indiana. Isn't that where Fleetwood's made?
yeah, I think they do have
ours is a Fleetwood.
I think they do have a Fleetwood organization up there.
Oh, that's in Auburn, Indiana, she said.
Okay. But anyway.
Denise said, did you not learn anything this week? Yeah. Don't confront a crazy guy that's screaming at you and cussing at you. But the mom in me came out. I wanted to ask him, do you kiss your mother with that mouth? And I also wanted to grab my soap and stick it in it.
Well, the dogs went with us, or they would have been barking and raising Cain. The dogs went with us. And we were just going to stop. We actually took it down there, dumped our tanks, and then went down and put it in the shop for about a week to have a bunch of maintenance stuff done to it. And that in itself is crazy. I mean, you're talking about $1,500 worth of stuff that is not fixing anything bad. It's just like getting oil change and getting transmission fluid changes. And I mean, when transmission fluid is $50 a gallon, that's crazy.
Okay, so I've got a funny story. I hope he can't hear me in there. When Dakota was about 10 years old, he got really smart and ugly with me one day. And so for punishment, I was cleaning the bathroom, and he came in there and he got smart and was ugly with me. And I said, I tell you what, young man, you get your tail in here and you clean this toilet. So he cleaned the toilet, fussing the whole time. Well, at the time we had 4 toilets in our house. We had 3 stories. So I said, come on with me. And I made him clean the second toilet. He's still just a fussing. And he wasn't being nice about it. So I took him downstairs and I said, okay, let's clean this one. So he's still a fussing. And I looked at him and I said, there's 1 toilet left. It's in Grandpa's room. Do you want to clean that one too? He didn't say another word.
Yeah, I thought she was going to tell him about the dropper.
Oh.
That's one later on. That's a lesson one, huh?
Well, if y'all have got time for one more story, I'll tell you this one, because this one is a God thing. One day our daughter came into the kitchen and she said, Mom, Dakota's in there listening to music he shouldn't be listening to. It was a Britney Spears song or something. And so I called him in there. He's 8 years old now. And I called him in there and I said, Dakota, what are you listening to? You know you're not supposed to listen to that kind of music. And he said, it's just one little song, Mom. And I'm telling you, it had to be God. I said, Dakota, get a glass out of the cabinet and get some water. And he said, but I'm not thirsty. I said, get the glass out of the cabinet and get some water. So he did. And I said, take a drink. He said, I don't want to. I said, take a drink of water. So he took a drink. I said, take another drink. He did. And I said, now follow me. And I took him into the bathroom. And you know how you have those little paper cups? I took a paper cup and I scooped some water out of the toilet. And I poured one drop into that big glass of water. And I said, take a drink. I'm not drinking that. That's toilet water. And I looked at him and I said, it's just one drop. He crossed his arms and he said, I don't know what I'm supposed to be learning from this, but I am not learning it.
She always had something like that. Always, for sure. Sarge, I am super glad that your mom is doing better. That is just awesome news. You just don't know. And does anybody have anything else that anybody that we need to include in our prayers this week, or anybody sick or anything we need to be thinking about?
Y'all pray for us about the store.
Yeah.
And pray for peace between our children right now.
Yeah, for sure. There's always something. And also, we will continue to pray for...
Mariah, I'm sorry about your grandmother passing away last week.
Yeah, absolutely. We're very sorry.
And Rhonda needs prayer for her lungs.
Absolutely.
Well, Tommy, do you want to pray and then I'll pray? Or do you want me to pray?
Pray.
Okay. Gracie, hush. If y'all don't mind, I'll pray real quick. Father, we come to you right now, and God, we ask if there is anything in us, between us and you, that would keep you from hearing our prayer, we ask that you would bring it to our minds so that we might confess it. God, if we are harboring any unforgiveness in our hearts, your word says that you will not hear our prayers. So I ask, Father, right now, that you remove any unforgiveness in our hearts and that you cause us to be able to forgive those the way you have forgiven us. God, I can't read all of the prayer list here. And I know there are people that won't post on here their prayer list, the things that they want prayed about, because they're so personal and so intimate. And it's something that only the heart can cry out to you about. And God, I just pray for those people right now. I pray for Mariah, who lost her grandmother. I pray, God, that you will wrap your arms around her and bring her peace. God, that she will just remember her grandmother in her, in the times when she's sad. She'll remember the funny things that she said or did. And God, for Sarge's mother, I pray she continues to get well. And for Rhonda, who said her lungs, we pray for you to bring healing. God, in the areas of our body where our bodies need healing, I pray in Jesus' name that you will pour your healing oil over us, and that you will cause every part of our body to line up and work the way you designed it to, because God, you created us in our mother's womb. And your word says that in your book is written all the days that we will live, every word we're going to say, every thought we're going to have before we're even born. And it also says in Psalms 139, God, that you think of us more often than the sand is on the seashore. And we've lived on the beach before, God. We know how much sand there is there, and I can't even imagine it. But God, you know us intimately. And God, you know our needs. You know the cry of our heart before we ever say a word. And so, God, I pray that you will just, even now, just begin to let the people on this live stream know that you have heard the cry of their heart. I pray, God, that you will wrap your arms around them. You will hug them tight, God. You will let them, God, you know me. I'm always the one about dreams, because I believe that, God, when we dream and we remember those dreams, that those are dreams that you are speaking to us, and they're a dream for a reason. So I ask, God, that the ones on this live stream tonight, that they will have dreams, and it'll be dreams that they will remember, and you will give them the interpretation for those dreams, and that, God, with those dreams comes peace. Give them the walk in life that they need. And God, let us all walk in a manner that is worthy of the calling that you have on our lives. And God, be with us, guide us, and direct us. And Lord, let us do something today and tomorrow and this week that has an effect on eternity, because eternity is the only thing that matters. We can't take the rest of this with us. So God, guide us, be with us, and we just praise you and we thank you in Jesus' name.
Amen. And we need to be praying that we have some closure in the Suzanne Murphy case.
Yes.
That they find her, or either whatever happens, that they can close that case and justice will be done for the person that did whatever they did to her.
Lord knows where these people are hidden and buried and where their bodies are, and God can bring it about, and he can bring those that are being held captive to freedom. And we just believe in Jesus' name that that's going to happen.
You know, it's hard to think what a kind of evil world. You know, we were thinking about this. We were talking about this the other day about what kind of world there was before Noah. Do you think that? Do you look back at this world now and you think could it be any worse? I don't know. Thank you for all coming tonight, and we hope we will talk to you soon. Again, we will see you tomorrow night. And Sarge, if you will send me that information to my email, I would appreciate it on Fort Hood or anything that I need to be aware of there. So we'll try to bring it up again. Somebody said,
Sarge said she was going to tell a story. Oh, she gave him a full glass of water. She'll have to tell us that tomorrow night. Come back tomorrow night, retired Sarge, and tell us.
Yes,
some people have left.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I thank you for allowing me and us to share our faith with you.
Yes.
And we have, you know, there's so many people out there that don't want to hear it, and that's fine with me. If they want to turn off, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But we do appreciate you coming back, and appreciate you letting me just rant the other night. I need to get it off my chest. But we will see you tomorrow night at 7, and I'm going to try to concentrate on the Fort Hood thing. And we appreciate everybody that joined our membership, and we appreciate everybody that helps out with this channel, and just appreciate y'all being here. And please share our channel, and we will see you tomorrow night. God bless you. Stay well, and I'm going to go and play this outro.